Through my rain-covered windshield, the city's illumination melted into strips of neon as I navigated Manhattan's bustling thoroughfares. The vehicles inched forward sluggishly, with the crimson glow of brake lights mirroring off the damp pavement. The workday had dragged endlessly, and my thoughts wandered to my awaiting residence. Above, thunder reverberated, its deep resonance appearing to rattle the base of the surrounding high-rises. The initial indication went unobserved, a subtle quiver in my left palm, barely detectable as I clasped the steering wheel. The secondary sign emerged as a luminous flash at the edge of my vision, resembling lightning, but more concentrated, more intimate. When the agony struck, piercing and unanticipated like a knife between my brows, the moment had passed. My foot slid from the brake, and in that endless instant between command and disorder, duration appeared to elongate like pulled candy. Everything rotated in slow motion as my vehicle skidded across 3 traffic lanes. Warning signals blared in a dissonant chorus, though they seemed remote, as if penetrating multiple layers of wool. The barrier approached with dreadful certainty, steel grinding against steel in a dissonant performance of ruin. My final conscious contemplation wasn't of trepidation or remorse, but of an unusual sense of resignation. Then blackness enveloped me, swift and absolute like an extinguished flame. The shift from awareness to whatever lay ahead wasn't shocking or terrifying. Instead, I found myself floating in a vacuum that felt more familiar than any tangible space I'd encountered. The shadows here weren't crushing. They embraced me like tepid water, reassuring and serene. All the suffering, dread, and doubt that had accompanied my concluding moments dissolved into this boundless embrace. In this shapeless expanse, my consciousness expanded beyond physical limitations. I perceived a presence, immense and caring, that saturated everything surrounding me. A gentle aureate radiance began to flourish in the distance, steadily intensifying, but never severe or overwhelming. It advanced purposefully, drawing nearer with each throb, carrying a profound sense of recognition. Then my name resonated, articulated with such complete comprehension and unconditional affection that it appeared to reconstruct my very essence. The utterance was simultaneously thunderous and delicate, primordial and contemporary, recognizable and utterly alien. As the luminescence consolidated into a form, I encountered Jesus. Though language fails to express the grandeur and modesty that perfectly balanced in his countenance. "Cast aside your fear," he pronounced, reaching toward me. His expression held the warmth of countless suns, yet I could observe it without distress. When our hands connected, existence itself appeared to shift and broaden, as if this basic contact had revealed understanding previously beyond human comprehension. The emptiness around us metamorphosed, becoming a vast canvas of creation itself. Galaxies emerged like celestial blossoms, their spiral appendages stretching across incomprehensible distances. Stars blazed into being with brilliant flashes, their nascent cries sending undulations through the fabric of space-time. Every point of light, every whirling nebula, throbbed with intention and significance that I could now discern with perfect clarity. "Allow me to demonstrate the beginning," Jesus stated, and suddenly we witnessed creation's inaugural moment. The universe unfurled before us like a flowering rose, each petal a fresh dimension of reality. Hues unnamed in human language danced through the cosmic expanse, and harmony beyond audibility resonated through every particle of existence. What initially appeared chaotic revealed itself as an intricate choreography of matter and energy. Every atom moved with exact purpose, every force balanced in perfect harmony. Our planet's formation emerged from this cosmos. See Symphony, a delicate azure gem rotating in the vast darkness, its creation guided by love as much as by physical laws. All you observe, Jesus elucidated, his voice carrying eternal truth's weight, was spoken into existence with purpose and love. Each particle comprehends its role in the grand design. though that design permits infinite possibility and choice. As he spoke, I began to grasp that what I witnessed wasn't merely the physical mechanism of creation, but divine love's expression manifested in existence's language itself. The cosmic ballet continued unfolding around us, but my attention shifted to a presence outshining even the brightest stars. Here was Lucifer, the morning star, in his original splendor, a being of such breathtaking magnificence and wisdom that observation nearly caused pain. His radiance contained all colors and none, his form perfect beyond description. Jesus observed him with an expression holding both infinite love and immeasurable sorrow. He was the most radiant of all. He spoke softly, and his voice carried ancient joys and ancient pains echo. His melody once perfectly harmonized with creation's music itself. As we watched, I observed the subtle transformation begin, the first discordant note in perfect harmony. Lucifer's light, originally complementing divine radiance, began competing with it. His song, initially part of the universal chorus, started diverging and demanding prominence. Pride took root in his heart like beautiful poison, spreading through his being with advancing frost's inevitability. The metamorphosis was both captivating and horrifying to witness. What began as minor variations in his celestial melody grew into deliberate attempts to override creation's symphony. Other angels were drawn to his growing discord, enticed by a new order's promise, a different song. Heaven's harmony began fracturing as choices were made and lines drawn. Free will, Jesus explained, is both our greatest gift to creation and its greatest risk. Love cannot be genuine without the freedom to choose otherwise. His words carried no judgment, only deep understanding and unchanged love, even as we watched Lucifer's rebellion take shape. The moment of decision arrived with eternity's weight behind it. The choice between freely given love and power sought through pride created reality's schism itself. The ensuing battle wasn't fought with physical weapons, but with intention and will. Light and darkness separated, not as good and evil initially, but as chosen paths diverging from a common source. Heaven's fracture sent ripples through all creation, like cracks spreading across frozen water. I watched as Lucifer and his followers fell, not just physically but dimensionally, their very nature transforming with each level they descended. Their light, once pure and radiant, became something else. Not exactly darkness, but a distortion of original brilliance, like a reflection in troubled waters. Earth, suspended in its cosmic dance, became an eternal drama's focal point. I saw humanity's entire history unfold before me like pages in a living book. Every triumph, every failure, every moment of choice between light and shadow. Cities rose and fell. Civilizations bloomed and withered. But through it all ran divine love's constant thread, never withdrawing despite humanity's frequent rejection. Each soul that has ever existed, Jesus explained, his voice carrying notes of both joy and sorrow, holds immeasurable value. Even those choosing paths leading away from us are loved with intensity beyond human comprehension. As he spoke, I witnessed countless individual lives, each a unique consciousness expression, each facing the same fundamental choice Lucifer had confronted, between self-elevation and loving surrender. Among these countless stories, Jesus highlighted specific moments in my own life, revealing influence ripples I'd never recognized. A kind word to a stranger had prevented suicide. A moment of patience with a difficult colleague had sparked events leading to reconciliation in a broken family. Even my smallest choices had created waves, touching lives I'd never meet in earthly existence. Love, he said, turning to face me directly, isn't merely emotion or choice. It's reality's fundamental fabric itself. Everything else is temporary, but love remains eternal. As he spoke, I understood that human love was just a pale reflection of this cosmic force binding all creation together, the same force inspiring creation's initial act itself. The scene shifted, and I witnessed profound transformation moments throughout human history. Instances where divine love penetrated human understanding's barriers and changed everything. I saw martyrs facing death with peaceful smiles, knowing they embraced greater reality. I watched ordinary people make extraordinary choices in crisis moments, their actions illuminated by something greater than themselves. Time flowed differently here, both faster and slower than physical reality. I felt myself absorbing wisdom requiring lifetimes to fully comprehend. Existence's complexity, free will and divine purposes interweaving, justice and mercy's perfect balance. All began making sense, transcending logical understanding. Jesus then revealed something leaving me breathless. Redemption's constant, ongoing work happening at every moment throughout creation. Like living light streams, divine love continuously reached out to every soul, refusing to abandon even those turning away countless times. I saw how every genuine repentance moment sent joy waves through the spiritual realm, how every forgiveness act helped heal reality's ancient wounds. This is why we never abandon any soul, he explained, indicating countless light points representing human lives. Each contains infinite good's potential, regardless of how far they've strayed. I watched in wonder as divine love worked through unlikely channels, sometimes through pain, sometimes through joy, but always with perfect wisdom and timing. I began understanding that what I witnessed wasn't just history or present reality. It was existence's nature itself. Every soul's journey was unique, yet all were part of a greater pattern, a divine tapestry woven with infinite care and patience. Free will and divine love's interplay created possibilities more beautiful and terrible than imaginable. This understanding's weight filled me with awe and humility. How often had I missed opportunities to channel divine love? How frequently had I chosen the easier path rather than the right one? Yet these realizations came without condemnation, only gentle awareness that every moment offered new chances to choose differently. Jesus turned to me then, his expression filled with love, so pure it seemed to reconstruct my being. "Would you like to return?" he asked, though I sensed he knew my answer. "Much work remains, many lives to touch, many moments where your choices could make eternal difference." I felt torn between this realm's perfect peace and the challenging but vital work awaiting on earth. The physical world, with all its limitations and struggles, seemed both distant and incredibly important from this perspective. I now understood that every earthly life moment was precious precisely because of its limitations. They provided opportunities for choice, growth, for love to prove genuine through sacrifice and dedication. Looking into Jesus' eyes, I saw reflected all possibilities before me. Countless moments where my presence could make difference, where my choices could guide others toward light and understanding. This potential responsibility's weight felt both daunting and inspiring. In pure truth's realm, I clearly saw how each human life resembled a thread in an impossibly vast tapestry, each essential to overall design. "Before deciding," Jesus said, his voice carrying summer sunlight's warmth, "let me show more of what awaits." With a gesture seemingly folding space itself, he revealed potential future scenes, not fixed destinies, but possibilities hanging like ripe fruit on time's tree. I saw myself in a hospital room, holding a dying woman's hand whose fear melted at words yet unspoken. I watched my future self help a young man step back from a bridge's edge, not through grand gestures, but through simply being present and listening with genuine compassion. These visions cascaded before me, each showing how seemingly small actions could ripple outward with profound effect. A shared meal with a lonely colleague would prevent devastating choices. A forgiveness moment would break generational trauma's chain. A simple smile would give someone courage to face another day. Each scenario was both mundane and miraculous, highlighting how the divine often worked through ordinary moments. "But you must understand the cost," Jesus continued, his expression growing solemn. The scenes shifted, showing challenges accompanying these opportunities. I saw myself struggling with doubt, facing rejection, experiencing loved ones' loss, heart-wrenching pain. Human existence's physical and emotional limitations, seeming distant in this spiritual realm, would return fully. Each love act would require conscious choice, often facing fear, exhaustion, or uncertainty. Yet even witnessing these difficulties, I understood them differently now. Each challenge wasn't just an obstacle, but a growth opportunity for demonstrating divine love's reality tangibly. The very limitations making earthly life difficult also made it precious. Every choice mattered precisely because it wasn't made in celestial understanding's clear light, but in human experience's murky waters. The cosmos continued its dance around us as I contemplated my decision. Stars wheeled overhead in patterns speaking of divine order, while distant galaxies pulsed with creation's heartbeat. I felt suspended between two realities: this heavenly realm's perfect peace and earthly existence's beautiful struggle. Each had its own completeness, its own way of expressing divine love's infinite creativity. Jesus then showed something shifting my perspective entirely: Earth's view from this spiritual dimension. The planet glowed not just with physical light, but with countless brightness points representing human consciousness. Each soul shone with potential, and connections between them formed relationship webs more complex and beautiful than any neural network. Most striking were how darker areas, suffering, conflict, or despair places, actually created opportunities for light to shine more brilliantly. These shadows, Jesus explained, indicating darker regions, aren't divine love's failures but places needing it most. Each darkness point is a calling for light bearers. As he spoke, I watched how individual kindness, courage, and compassion acts created light ripples pushing back against shadows. Even in darkest areas, tiny light pinpricks remained, waiting to become flames. The scenes shifted again, showing hidden reality behind everyday human interactions. I saw how each person carried experience, hope, fear, and dream universes within. Every irritated clerk, aggressive driver, difficult neighbor fought unseen battles. But now I could see them, and seeing changed everything. Each face held stories worthy of infinite patience and compassion. Remember, Jesus said, his words carrying eternal truth's weight, that every encountered soul journeys through discovery. Some take first steps toward light, while others temporarily walk away. But all are infinitely precious, all worthy of love. As he spoke, I understood this perspective was perhaps the most important gift to take back: the ability to see divine potential in every person, regardless of current state. Space's vastness around us seemed to pulse with meaning as I contemplated these revelations. Distant nebulae painted possibility pictures across the cosmic canvas, while closer stars sang creation's eternal songs. Chose to return, knowing that while paradise awaited, my journey among humanity remained incomplete. His smile, radiant with approval and eternal love, was the last thing I beheld before consciousness began shifting, drawing me back toward physical existence's familiar constraints and precious possibilities. The transition back felt like diving through layers of reality, each one adding weight and limitation to my being. Colors became less vivid, understanding more confined, as earthly existence's boundaries reasserted themselves. Yet something essential remained: a profound knowing, an unshakable certainty of love's eternal nature and every soul's infinite worth. When my eyes finally opened in the hospital room, surrounded by beeping machines and concerned faces, I carried within me an ember of that celestial fire, a small but permanent bridge between heaven's perfect understanding and earth's beautiful struggle. The journey back had only begun, but I was forever transformed by what I'd witnessed in that space between worlds, where love's truth revealed itself as existence's very foundation.